finish him off. If you can't do it, then maybe you should let someone who can, like me.
man, yes sir, they killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. We still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding because we all came from hunger.
But you know what, guys? You know what? Every now and again, you get surrounded by great folks. You know what I'm saying? Those type of people that are able to break down the intricacies of a television show or a film from Hollywood so well that it just makes you happy. So welcome, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're talking about Miss Marvel. Hit like, hit subscribe, share it. Be like, yo, hey, I don't know what you're doing right now, but we watching Miss Marvel. We gonna talk about that, and then be like, Grandma, turn off the news, watch NERDSoul. And she's like, oh, thank you, baby. I don't know why your grandma sounds like that. Anyway, right over here, all right, you know this man, you love this man. This man is not only an international man of mystery, not only known as GQ's not only most requested, but highest selling, all right, cover model. This dude is the surfing champion 2021, snowboarding champion 2020, also the Olympic skateboarding champion gold medal man, all right? I give to you Clement Bryant.
Really? Again? You continuously lie to the people. You got me like Michael Shannon being here, like, stop lying to the people. Like why? I need to know why. But anyway, it's not about me.
Coast.
No. Nice reference, but again, stop lying to the people. Like, you got me on a pedestal. It's like, I can't be on a pedestal. Anyways, enough about me. Who next? I can't do this anymore.
Just below, you know this guy because he came on and said, hey, Kenobi is kind of like Logan, but not as good. Jay Shearer, what's up?
What's up? It's good to be here. It's always good to talk Marvel with you. And yeah, I still prefer Logan to Kenobi.
Yes. It's a much better rendition of that kind of storyline.
That's right.
The hater that you love to hate.
Wait.
Well, no, he's not a hater. He's not always a hater. There are things that he loves. But in the diagonal square, Jason Reeves, 1 through 3 art. What's up?
You set me up for the fall. Dang. What's good?
I'm laughing so hard right now.
Jason does like
great.
things. There are things that he likes, and I'm going to open it up with Mr. Reeves.
I do not hate.
He only observes. Mr. Reeves, we're talking about Miss Marvel, whole season. You got it. You finally have it. It's all here. We've seen all the episodes. How do you feel about the show?
I liked it.
Oh, okay.
I liked it. How you love that? For hate.
How you love that?
I actually enjoyed the hell out of it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Clement, can you agree? How did you feel about the season?
No, I agree. I thought it was a really good, much needed push into the MCU. I really thought.
Yes.
I have some criticisms, but overall, they're very small compared to like what the show achieves.
Okay, good. See, these two agree. All right, so we're in for. All right, look. All right, let's.
Which is rare.
So rare.
Okay. Now we got. Okay, let's see. We got one more to go. All right, let's see. Well, two more to go. I haven't said what I thought, but we got one more. Jay, how are you feeling about Miss Marvel? Do you like the show?
I would say also it's good, but I'm probably based on the responses a little lower on the good scale than the other two gentlemen.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it this way: it's the only show this year that I've been following that I only watched every episode once.
Oh.
Every other show I would watch a couple times to get it really see what's going on, but this one is the only one I watched one time all the way through. So,
Okay. All right. Here's how I feel. I said a little bit to Jason yesterday. I think they should have set off Phase 4 with this show. This show, I was happy. I was excited. It was refreshing. And though there are other shows or pieces of other shows that I've enjoyed from Phase 4, because as we all know, Phase 4 has been going off without a hitch. Nobody's upset. No one's angry. All of the movies and TV shows have been received extremely well, and nobody's mad. No, but
why are you lying?
But I think they should have started with this one. I like this show a lot. The small stuff that I would, say about it is kind of like Clement said, not going to outweigh how much I liked it. I guess I'll start off with this. How do you feel about the character of Miss Marvel portrayed in this show? I'll throw it over to Jay.
Oh, the main character is amazing. Perfect actress to pick for this show. Like, that is one of the for sure highlights of what's going on with Ms. Marvel. Now, as somebody who did not read any of the comics for Ms. Marvel, so I'm coming like with no knowledge of the character at all. Mm-hmm. It was the way that they introduced her was fantastic. I mean, everything about setting up her story and what she's about, how she interacts with her family, how she interacts with her community, the representation that we have not seen before from the MCU. I thought all of that was done really, really well. So I liked all of that. For the lead character, fantastic.
Cool. Jason?
Same. The cultural beefiness in this show got me. Like, I didn't know anything about Pakistani people and their history. I've only known like surface value things you see on TV or whatever. So I thought delving into that culture was amazing for me. I like how colorful the episodes are. Iman, what is her last name? I forget her last name.
What is it?
Iman Vellani.
Vellani. She was amazing. I think she's cute. I think she's funny. The little physicality they had her, like, action scene wise doing, I think she did pretty well. I really love the family stuff. And the family stuff doesn't always seem authentic to me in these pieces, but I thought it felt really authentic here. I loved her mom and dad and her friends. I thought it was dope. Like, and usually I don't go for like thin action pieces, and I have critiques about that. That might be my biggest critique about this show, but man, I dug it. Like, I really, really dug it. Like, it was good.
All right. That's what's up, Clement.
I mean, everything that these two guys have said already. It's like, for me, the casting of Kamala Khan, Iman Vellani, it's like, it's perfect. Even in real life, she's one of us. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the Reddit AMA that she did on Friday, but every answer was stuff that even I didn't know as a comic fan. And how much that touched me on that level cannot be understated. I think, I don't know how or when they found her, but they struck gold with her. And I'm glad they picked her rather than somebody else who was just like sort of fit the mold of what Kamala Khan should. She is Kamala Khan in the show and in real life. But also how the way that they portray the family elements reminded me of my I found a lot of relatability in not only Kamala, but her characters and friends. But also kind of like, you know, the every character felt like really lived into me. And it wasn't so much about like action, you know, fighting powers is more about like a character study of someone who was trying to figure out who she was and who she's meant to be. And that's what I really responded. Like, it wasn't about the action. The action was a highlight for me, but it was more about like this girl, not sure who she was meant to be, and her understanding that. And even so much, her getting her suit, we'll talk about it, spoiler, but like her getting her outfit from her mother, that really just kind of did really well for me. So all in all, like, I have minor criticisms, but like, I think they did it really well. It's my favorite D+ show so far.
Yeah, I like her a lot. Just her kind of like portraying her in a way where she's excited. It comes through from like the page to the animation to here. You get that excitement. And I mean, of course she has her problems, but we have so many heroes. And I mean, not to say that they're bad, but we have so many depictions of heroes where it's like, I don't want to be a hero. I just want to sit in the dark. I'm so sad. So to finally see someone who's like, hey, oh snap, I got powers.
I love it.
Yo, man, I'm gonna save the hood. Like, it's cool. And she's excited about it and just like having fun, but you know, just living it up. And then her family is a trip. But yo, okay, I'll just drop this. When her dad comes in as the Hulk me, I was done. Because, all right, so he's actually trying. He's like, you know what? My daughter likes this stuff. So I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna try. But he went a little too all in. But it's like, I love that moment. That was hilarious because he was like, you couldn't tell him, like he went full paint, all that.
I really like that scene. I really like that scene because like throughout the whole series, you can tell how invested he is in his daughter, and not from like a sexual or like, I'm gonna control it, but like, this is my daughter and I love her for who she is, regardless of whether she is someone that I want her to be or someone that she wants to be. I always invested in my daughter. And I was like, that's really nice to see because I don't know, like I didn't necessarily like, I had that as a kid, but I necessarily didn't have that. So it was really nice to see like a character so invested in his family. I really enjoyed that. Like, to me, he's kind of like not the Uncle Ben, but also kind of like her moral center.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. And then just the way she interacts with her friends, she's always very positive and optimistic. And that's something that like it automatically hit me as like, oh, this is what we've been missing. Like even with Peter, like you don't get that all the way. I mean, well, Peter has issues. He got his stuff.
Well, you can tell when it's authentic and then when it's kind of like when they're forcing it. And I think a lot of times in a couple other stories, it's a little forced. And I think with Peter, Peter has, a little bit more history than Ms. Marvel, but Peter is supposed to be like the happy, sort of the happy-go-lucky one, at least when he has the mask on. And I think especially in this last one, like, that ending where it's just like, oh, I gotta be by myself, I can't love my people and they can't know, like that. To do the switch from that to this was amazing. Like for me, and I mean, I might be ruining the ending, but Like her
Oh, no.
parents knowing who she is and actually trying to protect her and saying, we know you got to do this, but please try to be as careful as you can. We'll protect you. And then even her brother, which is hilarious, him and his wife asking questions, like kind of poking at her at the same time, but like, how'd you do that? Did your powers turn off? That kind of thing. I love that. And shout out to Fantastic Frankie. I was watching her cast, and she was like a minority, like a POC family would know that you were a superhero because you don't have that much privacy like that, right? You can't just slide out and
your mama ain't going.
So I hadn't thought about it like that, but I was like, you kind of right. Like my brothers and sisters, especially when we were younger, shared rooms. So there was no way for us to slide out and be Spider-Man or Ms. Marvel or whatever. So I was like, that's kind of cool that she didn't feel like she had to like keep it from them. I have to at all costs, and nobody told her they will harm your family. Like and she actually had reason to think that they would, because damage control was on her butt. So
they were at the mosque, they were at the house,
right? So they technically would like at least put your family in jail. But I love the exuberance of the whole thing like that. Like I love that.
Yeah, and like to go with that, she's right. My mom at any given moment would bust up in the room and be like, "What you doing in here?" And like when I got in like middle school, when some kids start messing around with drinking or smoking or whatever, my mom did a full like FBI search in my room. Like, you smoking in here? It ain't gonna be no smoking in my house. And my mom was not playing. She went through my drawers and everything. She was picking around. It's not gonna be no smoking in my house, and I'm not gonna have no drug user or no drug dealing. Like, she was not playing. So you ain't gonna hide no Spider-Man suit, because she gonna be like, "What is this? You think you saving people? You gonna be going all around? You gonna bring that back to the house?"
Get these webs out of here, like all that kind of stuff.
So that would not happen in my house. My mom would, she would have found that sooner or later. So
not only did her mom come up with the costume, which was awesome, but then at the end, her dad came up with the name. So like, and that didn't feel forced at all, right? Like that felt really, like that could have felt like one of the worst moments. You could handle that real bad.
Oh,
the way that they handled it was like, that's good. That works. Yeah, it was cool.
And the family part was, she's on this journey discovering kind of who she is through her family, and then kind of figuring out who her mom is. And that's a big moment that I thought is important for all parents with their kids, because she's sitting there, Kamala is sitting there like, she's like, "Oh, well, my mom doesn't want me to do anything. My mom's a hater. She won't want me." And then when she talks to grandma, she's like, "Yeah, your mom was going all over the place doing all this wild stuff." And I'm like, why? That is a perfect point to relate to your daughter with, and let her know, like, hey, I had these kind of same energy and feelings and stuff too. Like this. But something happens with parents. They get to a point where they have kids, and then like all of a sudden their history is perfect, and they never did anything wrong. And they were never on the block. They never did anything. They never got locked up. They never snuck out. They never did anything wrong. They never got a speeding ticket. And all of a sudden they're just pristine until like your favorite auntie is like, "Yeah, we used to hang out at such and such all the time." Oh, do tell. You're like, oh, she did. So I think that was cool, seeing them kind of like relate to each other through the generations. And I was just like, this is cool, because sometimes the road trip episode can be kind of whack, but I ended up liking it a lot. I love the family aspect in this. I really do.
They did something that, one of my favorite phrases is, Marvel doesn't do the smart thing. They do the thing that they think that you won't think. And in this, they actually did the smart thing. It's such a smart thing to have the grandmother come in and break up all that mother-daughter stuff with her own mother-daughter stuff.
Yeah,
and then all three of them come in and kind of figure it out together. I thought that was so cool. Like, that was that was. I'm impressed.
Especially with the jeans and stuff, because there were some moments where I was like, okay, Clement, let me know, because I don't know if you felt this way about this part. With the jeans, I was like, okay, I know some immigrant families. And okay, America, we cool, but we going back home. We going back home to see grandma. So these jeans is a no. I don't care, be as mad as you want. The jeans is a no. And I'm surprised, but then grandma was like, just like your mama was doing. So, I mean, but I don't know, how did you feel about that part of not only the jeans, but also different moments of her like kind of like speaking up, and her friend, can I remember her name? Her friend speaking up, even at the mosque. Did that hit you in any kind of way, or were you just like, oh, okay, whatever?
There's a little bit of both for me. Like, I don't know, because I related to it so much that I was like, oh, that's cool to see, but also it's like, it's a little bit whatever for me. Like, I didn't really knock on it too hard. A lot of what I knocked on in this show was her relationship to Bruno. That was really interesting to me. The relationship with Kamran, the relationship with Nadia, like even how like you saw them speaking their native language, like another language in the bathroom, just like that really was impactful for me to see. I was like, oh wait, like the same way that I saw that in Black Panther, where they're speaking that language to each other, I was like, that is cool to see. I didn't really hit on that too hard. The thing that I hit on, especially in the first episode, was her mom knowing her own background and her wanting to protect her daughter, but still being like, oh, you're not going to be going around and dressing like this. It was like, ease up a little bit, but I understood why. Those were the things that I hit.
Because we've all been to conventions, so we know. Right. Let's be honest. Let's say we got a little girl. All right, she's 15, 16, and you've been to these cons. And we're like, hey, look, I'm glad you want to go, but I need to see that outfit first. I need to see that outfit first. Yeah, I'm gonna need a couple update photos too. All right, because while you there, because I came up with girls that would come to school, immediately go to the bathroom, change clothes, and that would be their clothes for the rest of the day. So it's like, I know. So I'm gonna need you to take another photo when you get there, and then another one about an hour after that. I'm gonna need update photos. All right.
I feel like it depends on how mature your child.
Well, yeah. You got to know your kid too.
I don't know if I need all them damn photos. Like, if you're gonna do what you're gonna do, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. I can't always be there, so and I want you to be able to protect yourself. So I'm trying to raise a child that will do that. Rather than me having to be, Mike Lowry all the time.
Nice. I appreciate the reference. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yo, man, look, some of these young Thundercats, all right?
They look 30.
Boy, look 30.
Oh, man.
But it's I see where they were coming from, because at first I was like, oh, she kind of tripping. Then I was like, no.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff at cons before. Yeah. Maybe they kind of got a point. And so even that kind of rung true for me, where I was like, once again, back to the family dynamic. They did a great job with the mom, the dad, the brother, especially the brother at the end. But he was like, well, mom told me imagine you're already a hero, full hero. Well, maybe not a full hero. She just kind of started the job, but still, she's a hero. All right. And your big brother shows up because he's your big brother. And your mom said, go down there and make sure that girl is okay.
So it's like superheroes don't need chaperones.
As a big brother, I would absolutely have done it too.
Man, it's like I get it.
Yeah.
Or conversely, since I'm a big brother, I could also see, all right, mom, I got to go out and fight crime. Well, take your little brother with you because I'm not going to be here, so somebody need to watch him. But mom, it's crime. I've got to fight it. Take him with you. So you made a suit for yourself. So you made, and you didn't make him one. You knew you was going out.
Right.
He needs it more than I do. Like, exactly.
But mom, it's Thanos. It's in space.
It's Thanos. It's in space. He can't come. You want me to take him to space?
I like that in this scenario, because you're the big brother, your mom trusts you in space with this dude. Like, you're like, she's like, oh no, I trust him. He gonna take care of his little brother now.
Oh, he gonna be all right. But yeah, just the fact that she sent her big brother, it's like, no, I have powers, mom. He doesn't. It's like, no, go down there and make sure she's okay. So that so like this family dynamic really it shaped the whole experience for me in a very positive way, where it could have went wrong. Like it could have went horribly wrong. But the family is funny and they're fun. And they have their stuff, they got their issues, but they made sure that they looked out for one another. And I thought that was something that was really cool.
What got me heavy. So I haven't read any of the comic book Ms. Marvel stuff except for the first issue. Mm-hmm. And I could not get into the first issue because of the hero worship angle. Like, I want to be Carol Danvers. I morph into Carol Danvers when I get my powers. Like, I did not like that. Like, it was so worshipy. It was such a Marvel thing to do, and it got on my nerves so heavy that it took me out of the whole series. So I was like, I can't read this. So going into this, I was like, how are they gonna approach it? And the way they approached it was again the smart thing rather than the other thing. And I like that they were. Now she still has hero worship for superheroes, and Carol Danvers is her favorite. Okay, that's cool. But she and with her family reinforcing it, you need to be you. And she and Kamala seems like she, even though she's still a kid and she's finding herself, she has a sense of herself at the same time, and a sense of her culture and a sense of her family. And I thought it was brilliant to take that part out, right, and shape it into what this series has done. And I thought that was so cool. Like you guys said earlier, the name coming from her dad, we named you Marvel. Perfection. You're not taking the white superhero's name. It's your name. The fabric from the suit comes from India, right? Yeah. Or
perfect,
Pakistan.
man.
Pakistan. The who sold the suit, your mom, right? Like, and she put what she thought was culturally relevant for you on there. I thought that was, and every piece of the suit comes from somebody you love. Dope. Yep. Super. Yeah. The mask comes from Bruno. The scarf comes from old boy you met.
MK.
Red.
Well, he's not MK in this, but MK from Into the Badlands.
Right. I thought that was such a brilliant way to still sort of take on the moniker, still be a legacy, but your own version of it. Brilliant, Marvel. Yeah. Very good. You get props from Jay on that one.
See, seal of approval.
Now, look, I give credit when credit is due.
Yes,
but only when it's due.
All right, so Jay, you did say that you weren't on the scale of likedness that we were. So what are some things? What are some of the pain points of this show for you?
So for me, it came down to two primary things. Everything that you guys have said is like, yeah, that's all right on. That's great. It's fantastic. Loved it. The two things, though, that like I struggled with a little bit more. And this has been true of a lot of the Marvel series. It's been true of a lot of the Disney Plus series. To me, this show, it should have been 10 episodes. and they got crammed into 6 episodes. And for me, it threw me off a little bit because the family stuff was amazing. But then when you're spending that much time there, and to all of your points, they should have, if they're only given 6 episodes, right? You spend the time there, you get the benefit of that. But there's basically like 3 different villains who you're never really sure which one is the actual villain. There is a giant location jump and a giant time jump, which, by the way, I love the time jump and the location jump. So it felt like it needed 10 episodes because it felt like it needed to breathe with the family moments and breathe with the cultural moments. But then it's like also villain. Wait, no, they're not really villains. It's really damage control that sucks. And show. Yeah. And I felt like that could have been, if you had 10 episodes to kind of play that through, I think it would have been way smoother. It would have gone. And so there was like, I remember thinking there was a moment when they're at the brother's wedding, right? And it's a strong cultural moment. And like, we get to see what another culture would do in this wedding context. And the way they pull in other cultures, because they have Bruno get in there and do some dancing too, right? Like, it's cool. It's really, really cool. However, I'm sitting there watching that being like, this is an interesting thing to spend this amount of time on, given the fact that we're trying to finish this series. And that doesn't speak to you shouldn't have included it, right? That doesn't say that. It just says you should have made the show longer. Yeah. So that was my thing. Those are the 2 points. It's just the villains and the time.
All right.
I agree with that because
I totally agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
I agree with that. And I feel like Disney took too much, or Disney/Marvel took too much of a lesson from Netflix, where the Netflix shows were 13 episodes each, right? By default. Yeah. The only one that I think didn't have 13 was maybe Iron Fist season 2. They went so far left of what Netflix did that they're scared to go a 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 more episodes when it really needs it. So I get that criticism.
Yeah. I think FX has it on lock with the 10, man. The 10 is 10. It's got to be 10.
10 is great. But I just want to point out, like I always got to point out, you're in control, Disney. You can do whatever you want. We're going to watch it regardless, and you're going to make money regardless. So do whatever you want. That's the first thing. Second thing, Stranger Things season 4. We got 90-minute episodes. We got 40-minute episodes. We got 30-minute episodes.
2-hour episodes. Like.
I'm saying, give the episode whatever it needs, baby. If we're gonna go to Pakistan, give us 90 minutes of it. Right? Yeah, let's go. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna do the big wedding episode, which would have been dope, give it 60, give it 72, whatever you got to do to get it. I absolutely agree with you, Jay. Like, we need to let things breathe. I think a lot of these Disney Plus series would be better if they stop trying to shoehorn that much story into 6 episodes. 6 episodes is nothing.
I don't know why 6 is like their magic number. Maybe it's got to be a cost thing. And then Jenna James says it's that Bob Chapek dude. You know what? There's been there has been arguments. Go ahead.
I would say no, for real. That has to be somewhat of a factor. I don't know if it's like a overriding factor, but I would say like it's a part of the recipe, right?
Yeah, because we've had a couple of articles come out from the VFX community basically saying, hey, Marvel is basically overworking the effects companies, and on top of overworking them, they're trying to pay us less and less. And these deadlines are crazy because they have show after show after show. And maybe the phase, timing is too daunting. Maybe the cost is a little more than they thought. But Bob Chapek, that's what I'm about to say.
We coming off a pandemic, yo. That was 2 years. That's 24 months of you supposedly planning everything.
Thank you. So that's what I was about to say. Like, but at the same time, everything slowed down. So where you could do more planning if need be. And this is Disney with like all the money in the world. So why are you being cheap with visual effects when that undergirds 85% of what you, probably 93% of what you do? Like it's,
and I'm
you
gonna say
can't cut corners on that one. Like
as
that's
much
one.
as much as I love this one, they was overworking people on special effects on this one because they shouldn't have.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have.
Well, there's arguments of them like they're either overworking them or they're giving short deadlines, so stuff isn't done the way it's supposed to be done. They use the She-Hulk thing as an example, and maybe it is Chapek's, because Chapek is the new guy, and so maybe he's like, look, we got tighten them purse strings, but it's like, hey, y'all got all the money in the world though. So
I don't know if it's a money thing though, so much as it is. So if you look at what Disney Plus is trying to do, first of all, Disney Plus is what kept Disney afloat during the pandemic because all the parks shut down. So I think what it is what they're trying to do is they're trying to show as quickly as possible. They're trying to get to Netflix numbers. Yeah. And so what they're doing is they're just chasing content, right? And so if they can do, hey, look, if we can crank out a 6-episode series, that is at least new content that gets new people in the service, that gets new subscribers in the service. And so now, granted, that's no excuse for how poor the planning was during the pandemic, as you guys talked about. But I still think it's like we got to crank content out as fast as possible. So no, you can't have 10 episodes. You get 6. Go, right?
Right.
Like, that's my take.
I can see that.
I feel you, but at the same time, I want to say then maybe less shows, less Disney remake shows of Disney shows that nobody gonna watch.
Oh, you mean High School Musical?
Yeah, exactly. Right, and then take that money and move it to your prize ponies, Star Wars and Marvel, so you can crank those out faster, I guess. Absolutely. And definitely put that money on the special effects. Like, you don't want your special effects people mad, yo.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Yeah, look, I know Bob Chapek's the guy, but if it was me, I'd have been like, all right, house meeting. Check it. Yo, Pixar, you're on Incredibles 3. But we wanted to work, you're on Incredibles 3. Get out of here.
Right.
Lucasfilm. Where's Mandalorian season 3? Oh, well, we've been where is Mandalorian 3?
If I'm in charge, we ain't doing no Andor series. I tell you that. That money going to Ms. Marvel's special effects.
Yeah, look, that Andor series, we gonna have to wait.
That Andor trailer was fire though.
The Andor trailer was good.
So Andor is one of the things that ruins my argument though, because Andor was announced how many years ago, and it's been in production for how many years? I believe that they started Kenobi and finished Kenobi before they started Andor. Yeah, does it? Yeah. So that ruins my argument there because I don't know why Andor is getting this kind of space and love, but
I don't know. Right.
But here's the thing. I think the BX thing is a Disney thing, but also I think it's an industry thing. I'm not defending Marvel because there's ways to round that so no one's doing crunch. But it happened with Sonic 1, Rhythm and Hughes shut down way back before there were any Disney Plus movies or TV shows for that matter. So I think it's an ongoing VFX problem, not just Disney and Marvel. But I will say, kind of to Jay's point, it's very much like everyone's trying to catch up with Netflix. Everyone's trying to catch up with Amazon, which is my main criticism on streaming. Granted, I understand why, because they have shareholders to pay and they're trying to prove some sort of dominance of, we're here in the marketplace. I think the streaming competition is a big factor in a lot of things. Now, granted, I work for one of the streamers, so it's kind of I understand it. It's not a criticism, but I understand why things are going that way. That competition is stiff. Over here in Culver City, Amazon for the last 2 years built tough. Back in the Culver City, you see Amazon Studios. It's there. Go over there. Apple's right over here. Right across from Apple is HBO Max. It's or Warner Discovery. It's
Warner Disney. Warner Discovery.
Yeah. It's where I live, you have 3 streamers within 5 miles of each other. So it's a big thing.
It's a big
And
thing.
Disney
but man,
now
you're
owns
not-
the Fox lot on the
you-
west side over here. So,
So are you gonna get the numbers with lackluster shows, and if your VFX industry strikes on you, like you're not gonna get the numbers?
yeah, because that's something that after seeing that article, that's something that I wondered about. I was like, yo, this sounds like writer strike type conversations.
I will
this
say, Netflix puts the money into the shows, regardless of the writing quality of the shows. You can see the money that Netflix puts into, I would say,
It's true.
65 to 70% of the shows. Now there are some shows that are less than that, but
yeah.
With Disney, they're coming out, they're putting on Front Street, they're lacking shows. Like, that's not a good look. Like, there was scenes in Kenobi, and I was like, dude, are y'all serious with this right now? Like, Kenobi in front of the rocks like this, and I was like, man, those pillows back there, what is that?
Not the pillows. Yeah, Kenobi. Okay.
I was like,
once again, if I was in Chapek's space,
strings like a marionette show,
like if I was in Chapek's, shoes or whatever, and they gave me that Kenobi, I would have read it and been like, so this what you got? So this what you got?
After 2 weeks of us planning this, this what you.
After 2 days of planning, this is what you gave me.
I told y'all I wanted this script on my desk in 48
and then the funny thing
hours.
is, the guy who originally wrote the Kenobi movie, because it was supposed to be a movie,
right.
He said a lot of that stuff was taken from the movie and formed into the show. And I'm like, yeah. It's still, but see, in a movie, you're talking about a much shorter situation. So we're not like dragging along where it's like, so once again, you gotta be like, look, all right, where's the excitement? Where's the intrigue? Like, and I'll be like, hold up, y'all. Everybody sit down. What is Star Wars doing? And then when it gets quiet, I'll be like, figure that out. Figure out what Star Wars is doing. If I have to figure it out, fine, but I'm firing some people in here. Because if I'm going to do the job, they're cool.
Well, he did fire. He fired.
Well, yeah, I
the
forgot.
head of content.
He did fire some people. You forgot.
Disney Plus looked different at its infancy than it is now. Just based on an executive team, everything. It's way different. And I think the approach is a little bit different too. It's like Disney Plus has only been around 3 years and they've already got this content. What are they going to be in another 2? So I think that's also something to consider. Like when I was there, like the streaming game is serious. It is not a joke. Every streamer is like, streaming is the most important thing. Doesn't matter if you have broadcast, doesn't matter if you have movies, the actual streaming is the important thing. So like,
because it's guaranteed money. It's subscription.
Subscription
so
money.
it's like, if you can count on that money, if you can count on that money, and that's why when people were talking about, like, even we kind of talked about it a little bit in here about, Disney worrying about the money. I'm like, but they just talked about having, like, I can't remember how many hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers. Like, I'm like, okay, if you take all that multiplied by, what is it, $7.99, $8.99 or whatever?
Like $6.99.
I'm like, you take all that and multiply that, and you get that every month. Why is there a problem? Like, when on top of the money you already got, like, I'm like, where is the problem?
Because the executives got to get paid, baby.
We need slush funds for the executives.
Well, executives, talent costs, which is why Marvel Studios has changed their approach to talent. Like, they're not doing those 9 contract deals anymore with the movies. Like,
well, why were they doing them in the first place? That's a 9 contract deal is so dumb.
But
this ain't sports.
Right. But like talent, the back end deals, and like what they pay some of the talent, like Jon Favreau for the work he does on not only Mandalorian but Book of Boba, overseeing that part of the universe, like,
but
that's
Favreau,
also a factor.
Favreau paying off though.
Yeah, paying off.
So
look, all right, that's another thing.
True.
Disney, listen to me right here. I don't like the NFL, but the NFL contract structure, I do. NFL is basically like, look, it's a series of 1-year contracts. Do good this year, you're coming back. if your movie is hot, hey, we're gonna see you for part 2. Your movie not, you're about to get recasted.
and check it. Nobody told Marvel to do 9 contract. They came up with that on their own. Like nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing no 9 movie deal contracts. So that's on them that they still got to pay Samuel Jackson. You don't feel like
it makes sense when you want to connect but you have to leave a little room.
If you're doing an Infinity Saga and you feel like you're gonna make it, that makes sense in theory, but you could still do 4, 4, 4, 4. Like I feel like you don't have to go to full. You don't have to put people on for a decade and then they having contract disputes and they want up their money. Like I think what you're saying, the NFL thing sounds a little bit better. Like, because okay, so then we could easily recast, Black Panther or something like that. If something goes down and something happens,
or somebody acting funny about COVID.
Hey, Mike, don't even hold back. I know what you're talking about.
Yo, somebody acting funny about COVID. Look, hey, you think there ain't some other shorties out here that want to shine? You know what I'm saying?
A lot of them.
Look, hey. But anyway,
I mean,
slide that to the side. Jay, you had one other thing that you were that was an issue with Miss Marvel.
Oh, just the villains, so they introduced obviously the Department of Damage Control is up to no good, and they make that clear from the beginning, right? Even in the line where it's like, hey, next time you come in here, you take your shoes off, right? Like disrespectful from the beginning. So they were obviously going to be set up as sort of like a villain-esque type of entity, but we didn't really get a whole lot of backstory on that. And I don't even know if it's just like the villain is actually just a one lady because her boss is telling her not to do stuff and she's doing it anyways. So I'm not sure where that was actually going. So that kind of confused me. And then I really liked the clandestines and the red daggers and like the tension between them. But we kind of ended the clandestines way earlier than I thought we were going to.
They hit them with that Indiana Jones style right there. I know this is the cup. I know this is the cup. No, it ain't the cup. They ain't the cup.
Yeah. So again, that end episode, I just thought it was interesting. I like the way that she saves Kamran in the end, right? Like I like the way she saves it. She realizes that he hasn't been bad. She realizes that he's been for her along the way. That's all cool. But just having him end up in that place when you've had like a whole clandestine force that's now out, and you've got the Department of Damage Control, which is like, I'm not sure what they're doing. For a while, I thought they might end up being like some sub agency of SHIELD or something like that. But then that didn't go anywhere. So that was the only other thing I was just confused by. So if you just stick to her legacy, I love the 1940s stuff, by the way. That whole 1940s backstory.
Yeah.
I would have spent a whole other episode on that because I thought that was really cool. But then when it came to the flip side of the coin, like all of her stuff is amazing. And that's where you should spend your time because then we all come away saying we liked it, right? But that other part was like, man, it just felt rushed. It just felt all rushed.
Again, totally agree with you. I think what I would have done was Clandestines' first 3 episodes and then Damage Control is last 3. We just see Damage Control in the beginning and then we let that run. And then when we come back, Damage Control is regrouped and then we got to do for the last 3. I think the Clandestines weren't powerful enough to be main villains. Like, I mean, they manifest the weapons.
I agree with that.
Whatever, who cares? But I also think that Cameron's mom is a better foil sort of for the past, like killing her grandmother.
Yes.
So I think they could have stopped. Ms. Marvel could have stopped them early. Episode 3, and then when we come back to the past the 1940s episode and she kills her mom, I feel like the impact is there for that, and she's kind of like the family foil, but I got we don't have to worry about her anymore, except we have to worry about Cameron because now he has whatever she sent to him, which I didn't even catch because they were moving so fast until I read about it later, right? So that's what I would have done rather than pushed the clandestines all the way through. And then after stopping or having helped to stop the clandestines from the red, what are they called?
Red daggers.
Red daggers. Then we go to Pakistan and learn about the red daggers and why we had to do what we had to do. And I think that would have been a better structure rather than cramming it all into that last episode. Because I agree, episode 5 and 6 was crammed. And
they definitely need some more room to breathe.
Episode 5 was it's weird. Episode 5 was my least favorite episode, but only because it's so, her grandmother's story is so crammed that it kind of makes it lose impact for me. But learning about partition and learning about this rich family history is dope as hell. Like I wanted to love it. But because they contrived that story so much, because they built her grandmother up as like she's the person, right? And you know, and then her I'm sorry, not her great grandmother, and her grandmother follows the stars to the train to find her dad. That should have been a dope moment, and it's like 2 seconds long. I don't have the stars. Oh wait, I have the stars. I again, moving so fast, I don't even know where the damn stars came from.
Exactly.
I gotta watch it again to see.
And the thing was, is that episode 5 was your least favorite, but it was my most intriguing one because what happened with me was I thought to myself after episode 1 and 2, I actually stopped watching for a little while. I was like, okay, this is Peter Parker, right? Like it's cool, it's Peter Parker. And then I start watching again because everyone was telling me how good it was. And I get to episode 4 and they meet the red daggers. They go to Pakistan and I go, oh, this is different. This is not Peter Parker anymore. Then they show me episode 5 and I go, this is way different than Peter Parker. This is so much cooler in terms of like the origin story of what's going on in this family history. And then, but I totally agree with you. Even though it was my most intriguing episode about how all that goes down, it gets lost because it's so fast and it's like now we're done, moving on. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it does have a get to it kind of feel. I guess the only thing that I would nitpick this over is, and I know it kind of flows with the fact that she's new, but the fight scenes weren't my favorite. But I know she's brand new. She's clunky. But with that, I do like
fight scenes with clunky characters, though. Like you can do good fight scenes with characters learning. There's several movies and shows where the character has no fighting skills or just learning their powers, and they're great fight scenes. Stumbling and falling over yourself and falling over your partners and your comrades and stuff, a lot of times can make for great fight scenes. But I think they didn't have it any time. Like episode 4 is the big fight scene, or at least the first big fight scene, and man, that could have been great as a 2-episode stretch. And we have the red daggers showing her the ropes. I thought her grandmother was going to teach her how to use her powers, and I feel like they might have nixed that for time because her grandmother had magic and stuff back in the day too. You know.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Sorry, go ahead.
I did like the fact that since she's not like super strong, like when she fell, and she had that groan like like it was like yeah. See, you don't have that super strength, and it still hurt. But go ahead, Clement.
No, I was gonna say like, I agree on the fight scenes, but also I'm excited to see like if they implement something like that in the Marvels. Like she's gonna learn from Carol, she'll learn from Spectrum, like some different ways of fighting, and that's kind of like what I'm looking forward to seeing, like what that relationship is in Marvels. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I would think that they would set that up, especially her being the newest out of the 3. So I think maybe they'll kind of tie that up in that movie. But yeah.
But at this point, she has more skills than Monica.
We'll see.
Because the way they play around with time, who knows? Because they don't have a plan.
Yes, true.
They don't know what they're gonna do with Monica. They have no idea. But anyway,
Oh, my
guys, I know.
she got to protect that girl.
Shouts to Modern Mouse. Shouts to ZSB Lou. Jenna James. Jenna James says if the bangle activated Kamala's mutant powers, I can see the Mind Stone have done the same for Wanda, like many of us already expected to begin with. Wouldn't be surprised if that ends up going for, I guess, Carol and her exposure to the Space Stone as well. I guess, because from the trailer when I saw the bangle, I was like, oh, that kind of has a similar design to the 10 rings. Maybe there's other artifacts around the world where there's and I know this is Voltron, but maybe there's 5 paladins that have the, you got the 10 rings and she has the bangles and this person has the, I don't know, the chest plate. I don't know, something. Just like something that's like, oh, now you're creating a whole sub mythology of these things where you can kind of have a little more fun.
Vibranium comes from space too.
Yeah. So, this could all be calling back to whatever, or calling each other to, because now I'm doing more writing than they're doing.
It's the case. It's what I'm always saying is that them trying to be more clever than they have to be, and just linking those things rather than not. Like, I felt like the mutant thing was tacked on, and why do we even need it? She has the Captain Marvel connection. She has the clandestine connection. We don't. She has a potential 10 rings connection or vibranium, whatever connection. Why do we need a mutant gene?
And I would have, instead of Carol, saying, hey, Marvel, go with me. Instead of Carol, she's in her room and one of the little portals opens up and it's Wong and Shang-Chi, and he's like, you, and then it cuts. And it's like, oh snap, it was called, and then we're speculating for the next year. But
see,
you cool.
Okay.
but I know. You gotta pay these people. You gotta pay these people, and I get it. You gotta pay these people.
Scheduling.
They gotta come out. You gotta do more visual effects. I get it. I get it. But it gives Shang-Chi some more screen time. It gives us a callback to his movie, which was aight. And then you get some more time with Wong because he just got beat up and he made it. You know what I'm saying? He made it in Multiverse of Madness, so he ain't dead. So now, boom, you got both of them, and they're like, it's you. And then we're like, oh, because then we remember it was calling out to something, and then it's like, and then...
Right, he could say it's you, and she could look at the banger and go, that'd have been a much better stinger.
Besides the mutant thing, the mutant thing, I kind of feel like it's not going to be what you want. You want what did Donald Glover say about kicks? It's not going to be what you want. like you're like, oh, it's gonna be X-Men. No, it's not gonna be like that. It's not gonna be that. No, it's not. That's not gonna happen. I know you feel it in your bones, but they ain't gonna give you that. I mean, maybe, but
they're gonna try to be clever about it. What they're doing is pigeonholing themselves, because now Ms. Marvel has to show up. Like you said, they got to pay these people, right? Well, now she has to show up in X-Men.
Somehow, some way or something. Because they just kicked Inhumans to the curb. They was like, nope, y'all gone.
Well,
nope.
And I guess that's one of the criticisms I have. Now, granted, I appreciate the show for what it is. The way that they adapted the show from the comics to live action, no criticism. I get that's how I got to caveat it, but her changing the power set, that still resonates on some level for me, especially considering we had Black Bolt in Multiverse of Madness 2 months ago. Granted, multiverse. I still want to see how they would have adapted her original powers from the comics, the stretchiness, not so much the shape shifting, because that goes against something the kind of race, how she's kind of trying to fill herself out. But I would have wanted to see the original powers. It's a minor critique, but it also kind of plays into what you're saying about the humans and the X-Men.
I think those stretching powers was too expensive.
I was about to say,
if
you got the VFX people about to strike on you now, imagine trying to make that work.
Well, we'll see.
And work in a way that looks realistic.
That's what I'm saying.
But
That's
also in the comics, like they look weird. They're supposed to look weird. They're supposed to like. I really dug that part of it, but I guess that's just me. But yeah.
So
I think it looks way better. I like this way.
I'm not mad at this.
I'm not mad.
I'm not a big fan of the Luffy D monkey powers.
Oh, not the Luffy.
Wow.
Oh, snap.
I think it works. I think it works for Luffy, and Luffy always upgrades them. He finds a way to make them dope. But you know, in the comics, not so much.
All right, so I'm gonna throw it over to Jay. Final thoughts, and where can they find you?
Final thoughts is it's good. I think it's good. I wish it was 10 episodes, but it's not. Actually, we got to deal with what we got, and I think it's good. And I think it's worth watching because the first episode I think gives you the opinion that it's going to be Into the Spider-Verse, right? And then it goes deeper than that, and it gets into other things that not that Into the Spider-Verse isn't deep. It's one of my favorite films, honestly. Like I love that film, but this goes a little bit deeper into like as soon as they start bringing up the partition and all of what's going on there, that gives the whole show like emotional relevance and weight that it didn't have before. And I think that's worth exploring. And I hope they explore it more in season 2. I'm sure they're going to do a season 2 and they should explore it more there. So go watch it for those reasons. The family dynamic, fantastic. Great actress leading the series. Go watch it for all of those reasons.
Definitely.
And then you can find me at the Story Geeks. So if you ever want to hear me talk about storytelling and things related to storytelling, I'm over at the Story Geeks on YouTube and on your favorite podcast feed.
Cool. Clement, final thoughts. Where can they find you?
Find me Twitter, at Instagram at Clement Bryant. Not with those bloated bios anymore, Mike. But anyways, I have nothing but high marks for this show. I love how they, imbued it with Pakistani culture. They focus on the family. Great casting, great special effects. It was a really good, well-told story. And I think any MCU fan or any young girl who is trying to figure herself out needs to watch the show. I think it's really impactful. And just the lead actress, even like for me, even seeing her in the press going on things like Trevor Noah, Jimmy Fallon, she holds her own like a lot of young actors that I haven't seen before. It is magical the way that she has a personality. She's not afraid to be herself. That's exactly what you want for Kamala Khan. So I have nothing but high marks about the show. I hope they do a season 2. And if not, we get to see her in the Marvels. Hopefully we see her somewhere in Secret Invasion. Like, I am a big fan.
All right. And Jason?
Interestingly enough, I think this might be my favorite Marvel show, my favorite Disney Plus show. Like, I liked Hawkeye. Hawkeye is my man. I'm in a minority on that one, I know, but
that's good.
I thought Hawkeye was kind of all right.
Yeah, it was straight.
Okay. I mean, the character though, everybody kind of craps on Hawkeye.
I mean, yeah, true.
I actually have loved him since, his cameo in Thor. I thought Jeremy Renner is dope. But anyway, my point is, I think this might be my favorite Disney Plus show. I think full on revamping the idea of who Ms. Marvel can be or will be, and pulling that from the beefy cultural aspects of the show and the familial aspects of the show was a brilliant move, and it got me. Nice. So, season 2, pay those VFX artists, pay those fight choreographers,
please,
and let's go. And I want Disney to think about the way Netflix does Stranger Things, especially for this show. Yo, give each episode whatever breathing room it needs, and let's go. Like that's how you're gonna make your streaming dollars. Trust that.
Yes,
But, you know, you
definitely.
ain't gotta listen to me. I ain't no exec, and I ain't got no slush fund. But you can find me at 133art.com. That is the hub. We got a new website, some new comic books up there, and at 133art on all social media, plus at 133art Publishing on social media. And if you buy a lot of stuff, then I can have that slush fund. So, you know, donate to me.
I'll say in closing, yes. Just like Iron Man was your guy for phase 1, you gotta
Yeah,
I can see that.
great.
build your team. You got and guess who she would be a great counterbalance to? Kate. You've already casted her. We've already seen her. Remember the idea I told you about Hawkeye and Cap talking to Hawkeye saying we're old, but these kids need guidance. Hire me, bruh. I got you, son.
Who's the counterbalance?
Kate, because like, you know,
Kate.
like Kamala is like super hype and everything. Kate's kind of like, I guess we can do this. So I could see them kind of, then, you know, bringing Isaiah, go and bring him in. Come on, man.
You be
Come
trying
on.
to get Isaiah in there, boy. You be
Yo,
trying-
Isaiah, look, we coming, all right? So that's the first thing. Same with the fight scenes. All right, Disney, all right, let me school you on fight scenes real quick. Call the choreographers of these 3 things. The Raid. The TV show called Warrior. All right? It's not that hard. And Into the Badlands. That, bruh, there you go. Especially The Raid 2. That
wait.
prison scene is insane. So, like...
Let me tell you something, though.
But that's rated R. I know.
Let me bring it on back to Stranger Things one more time.
Yeah.
Them little kids in Stranger Things be fighting, stumbling around. They don't know how to fight.
True.
But they do their thing, and you be rooting for them. And I'm just saying, you don't necessarily have to have you and Wu Ping choreography team come in and make it crazy. I mean, that would be dope, but you don't have to do that. I'm just saying, just be creative when it comes to writing these things, and then get action choreographers that know what they're doing, that can add to the writing. So yeah, like they need more time. They need to have more time. They need to allow themselves more time, though. You know, like don't just sit around. I don't know what they be doing at Disney, but they need to allow themselves more time.
Okay, Disney, Star Wars, Marvel. I want to feel like you guys make better choices than I would make again. See, back in the day, I was like, oh, these guys are smarter than us. They make a lot of money, of course. And I'm like, why do I feel like I rewrote this in like an afternoon in the couch better than like...
I want a fight scene. I want a well choreographed fight scene to go along with well written scripts, and I want a fight scene worthy of a line like, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did." I need the fight scene to mirror that, because it didn't. It did not do.
Okay. Word up. Well, with that said, guys, Disney, you know what we said. So just hire us, send us some money. We'll help you out, consult and all that stuff.
Yo,
and we got you back.
Real talk. We won't even tell nobody. We'll sign NDAs.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Hit you with that consultant fee, slam dunk, right there. So hit you guys with some dope beats, some black comics. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend coming up. So will Jason. Jay, you're not coming, right? Are you going to be there? All right. Clement, are you going to be there representing evil in Star Trek? Huh? You oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. Oh man, see, technology hating on us.
Nah, I'm not gonna be there. I'm gonna be at a wedding. I'm gonna be at a wedding, and it is killing me.
Oh.
Killing me not to go. I called
So-
her. I was like, "Do I really got to go to the wedding?" She's like, "Yeah, you got to go." I'm like, "Really?"
It's like, yes, of course.
Like, you can go on Sunday. I'm like, "Babe, Hall H is Saturday. I need to be at Hall H." But nope.
So anyway, guys, we'll see y'all. Thank you for rolling through. We kept y'all up too late. Peace.
Bye.
We you want to he you know he got to do his thing.
Come on.
You've been overruled. You can't come over here. Look, we love all y'all. We out. Somebody got overruled. Peace.
If you can't do it, then maybe you should let someone who can, like me.
man, yes, sir, they killed a bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke is bigger thing.
Just like the pack of Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dollars rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from hunger pain.